We're gonna start with a bit of JoJo. I want to start off by saying that someone asked it in the chat before, but JoJo Battlestar R, for the most part, it's like the same game, but like almost like a remaster. Like a lot of the same stuff is going to work, but they are gonna do minor changes. Like for one, I heard they're gonna make some combos harder to do, or no, easier to do. Second, it's gonna be a tag game, so in this tutorial we won't be seeing any of the tag components or anything like that because this game doesn't have it. We're gonna solely focus on just how to play the game from a regular basis, you know, like beginner, nothing crazy, like just the bare fundamentals and some of the mechanics, right? Nothing else. Then we'll start with your Shoto, our good boy here, and our second semi Shoto, Dio. I feel Dio is easier. I recommend, again, regardless, I would recommend most of J-Star. So with the characters, there's three types, right? You have three types of characters. You got ones with stands, right? Or anyone who knows what a stand is. Ones without stands. You got people like who have Hammond or just Dio, which is just a giant fuck you. And then you have Force User. Right now, what I'm applying should apply to most of the characters. Mine is them. I'm doing mainly universal stuff. So one thing we'll start right away, right, is with movement. Oh, is the computer on? Fighter, BB tag, under anything like that. You know, blocking is just by doing back or down back. Default down back, I suggest. It will block both lows, see, as you see, and mids and highs. No sir, no sir. I'm just playing the PS3 version. Right. Like I said, we are not covering assists or anything like that. The most of what you see now is going to be largely the same. Like 90% of the game is the same from the PS3 version to the PS4 version. But we will start, like I said, to default to down back. The only thing that works is an overhead. Usually an overhead, yeah, is a move that is you're walking forward and you're doing your heavy. And as you see, he is doing a overhead like motion. But we'll get into that later. We're a bit too bit. So your button. Let's start with your buttons. We already covered movement, right? You jump, and you're stuck to it. You can't dash or anything unless there's a character specific, right? We're talking about generalization. We're not talking about character specialist. You have forward jump, neutral jump, back jump, and you cannot air block. So that's another thing to note. Now your buttons go from, you can see, I probably put notations, right? So it's light, medium, heavy, and special, or as it is in here, D. Now, light is very self-explanatory. These are your fastest moves with the shortest range. You have a crouching version that is usually low, a regular version that is high, and a jumping version. Then you have your medium, which is your medium damage and medium speed move. Got your low, your medium, and your mid. Each one with different properties, right? And then you got your heavy. The slowest move, but it hits the hardest. And it even has a low version. You can actually react to this for sure. I think it's like 23 frames if I'm not wrong, 24, 26. And of course even a jumping version. And as you can see, they knock down too. But like I said, it goes, so remember, it goes from your, starting from square, to triangle, to circle, it goes fast, medium, slow. So, I've done this in the DNF duel, but this is what we call the anime bread and butter, by the way. It's just a general sense of, right, we all play enough games, right? You got your lights, you know, usually it's lights and heavies, but in most fighting games you have lights, heavies, and the medium. The medium is usually the
side steps or anything like a Mishima dash.
We're getting to that, right? Like I said, we're covering the buttons, right? Now you're thinking, oh, which buttons do I use? Like, so basically all you need to know is when you're up close, if you're being pressured, you jab to get them out of your way, and your light will beat their mediums and their heavies. If you're playing neutral, say you're going back and forth, you are usually throwing out your jumping mediums, your low mediums, and this, and then turning it into a combo. Right? That is usually what you're doing. Heavies, not as much. You only want to do heavies, like say you're in here, right? Someone whiffs this from this range. You press a heavy to catch them because as you see, it has a fat range, and you can either knock down or get a good combo. So just know that. Lights are for up close, mediums for medium range, heavies for usually far or a good whiff punish. Or punishment. These are very unsafe. I should also notice, light moves are usually very fast and safe. Like even if they block it, you can still take your turn. Mediums are kind of 50-50 It really depends. Heavies are usually very unsafe. So do not spam heavies. Unless they're just not blocking low, then go for it, right? That's a stage transition. We'll get into that later. Well, to answer the question from chat, okay, so we've covered the basic movement and basic buttons, right? Now we get into the special button, which is why I ignored it. Usually in most fighting games, you get light, medium, heavy, and X is usually like a special button. In here, it's a sidestep. You can use sidesteps to avoid moves. Like, say if someone jabs and you sidestep at just the right moment, you can avoid them. This game is very similar to Tekken in the sense of sidestepping. If anything, more so Virtua Fighter. Sidestepping in here is very strong. And the way you sidestep to your left is just regular X. To your right, down X, as you can see clearly. I won't say notation. I will stick to saying buttons since you can see the notations on the game for those who aren't very familiar. And you can also, there's another special technique I'll show you guys. This is a special parry. We'll set it right now. That is a special sidestep. You guys saw it, right? That is done by just pressing back. You press back right before they hit you, you do that little special stance. It's like almost like a parry from Third Strike, but with a sidestep. And you actually, I believe you get more time than usual. I could be wrong. So your 3 options for defense besides blocking is sidestep left, sidestep right, or just tapping back and then doing a full sidestep.